Yo, Tommy from the Bronx. It is Lift Aloft, or Rob, or Baseball Geek, responding to your video regarding the Passion of the Christ and Christians who are, in your view, hypocrites because they will not show the R-rated film Passion of the Christ to their, I guess, children is what you're talking about. And you refer to that as hypocritical. The question you ask is, would you let your kids watch Passion of the Christ even though an R rating? How come you can let them read the Bible but not watch the movie? Is that hypocritical in my view? No, that's basic discernment. And I'll try and be as brief as possible. If you're a Jewish person who wants to talk to your children about your history, about your culture, you want to talk about the recent history, about the Holocaust, for instance, do you show your 5-year-old photographs of the dead? Is that hypocritical if you decide not to do that versus tell your children about the event? No, not in my view. That's discernment. Also, if you're African American and you want to talk about our very recent history, about the undercurrent of American culture that is racist, it's very fresh. You want to talk about the Ku Klux Klan. You want to talk about the civil rights movement to your children and the struggle of African Americans in the history of this particular country, the United States. Do you want to show photographs to your children, to your 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, of African American men? I've never seen a woman, but African American men being lynched with happy KKK members picnicking alongside. Is that hypocritical for not doing that? No. In my view, it's discernment. And the same goes for Passion of the Christ. Now, I wonder if you've ever seen, Tommy, children's Bibles and things, and I decided to take a look at ones that we got for my son. This is the softest one right here, which is the Catholic Baby's First Bible we got from my son's baptism, where the only scene you see regarding the death on the cross is it starts with Jesus is alive, that Jesus died for you and me upon the cross at Calvary. You see a picture of Jesus back. God raised Jesus from the dead. My Lord's alive, Mary said. So the issue of death is here. It's just we don't see the pictures. I think for a child, the issue of death is probably enough. I mean, I'm not that excited about talking about the concept of death with my son because I know then it generates questions and a lot of fear. And again, is that hypocrisy or is it discernment? The message isn't taken away there. Clearly, this children's Bible is portraying Jesus as dying. Here's another one. This is the Jesus Storybook Bible that was given to us also at AJ's baptism. And this is a photograph. I don't even know if it can be seen. We'll have to check here. Yeah. You can see a clear photograph that's pretty gruesome. Probably not a book that I would want to read to a 5-year-old, but maybe to an 11-year-old. But it clearly talks about nailing Jesus to the cross and all those things, making it very obvious. We have 100 Bible stories, which was a gift, I believe, for the baptism as well. And we have Jesus Goes to Heaven. Jesus' work on earth was done. His followers had seen him die on the cross and come alive again. So we're dealing with death once again. And if we look at the Bible itself, I'm just going to pick out Matthew, which is obviously the first chapter. There's not a lot said about the crucifixion. I mean, it says Jesus was offered wine to drink, but after tasting he refused to drink. When they had crucified him, they divided up his clothes by casting lots. Sitting down, keeping watch, robbers on the side of him. I mean, it's really not talking about the drastic things you see in something like Passion of the Christ. And I can give you a perspective, an interesting perspective, because when I saw Passion of the Christ, I was not a believer. And it was intense, and I walked out of there going, this is just way too much. And it would be, if it's way too much for an adult, we're talking about the graphical representation of what actually happened, then definitely for a child, it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous notion to say, in my view, that because this is the way that things had happened, that therefore we must show our young children this and not sugarcoat it. It's not sugarcoating it, it's being discerning so that your children aren't exposed to graphical representations of things that are very bad. And in fact, the Bible itself does not do that to the extreme that Mel Gibson went when he did the film Passion of the Christ. So that's about all I have to say on it. Obviously, I'm in a disagreement with you. Hypocrisy? No. Discernment? Absolutely. And a very good decision, in my opinion.